Hey YouTubers, I think it's about time to make some beans and rice. It's a really healthy way of eating. I generally have beans and rice for my lunch at work. I like this really fancy mixed rice. It's got brown rice, it's got hard red wheat, it's got some wild rice in it as well, and it makes a really tasty mix. It's a little bit better than the regular short grain brown rice, although it's probably just about the same as far as health-wise goes. So basically, you just measure it out according to your rice maker. But as far as the actual measurements go, I would go ahead and add about probably an extra maybe 15%, 20% more water when you're doing brown rice, because it makes it it would be a little too chewy otherwise. This you can eat for like pennies on this stuff, and it's really good for you too. Get all the protein of meat, but not nearly the hormones or the pesticides or the other nastiness that you have to deal with when you eat like large animals. Well, I'll go ahead and fill this a little higher than normal. Pardon all my dirty dishes. I have a little reverse osmosis water filtration kit. It's installed. It's really nice, and it makes really tasty water. And you know that it gets rid of like 98% of all the fluoride and all that good stuff, or bad stuff. I have used canned chicken broth instead of water, and that really makes it good too. But as far as like just survival food, this is a good way to go. Now I've got a couple cans of this stuff here. This is what they call rainy day foods. That's a line of foods that real survival types use. A can of this stuff that's unopened would probably last 15, 20 years. It's packed with an oxygen absorber and all that good stuff. See if I can find a teaspoon here. This is what it looks like. But you know, if you happen to be lucky enough to have a Winco around your house, you can get chicken bouillon like this in the big bulk containers, and you can, and it's like real cheap. Okay, I generally like to throw 2 heaping teaspoons of this stuff in, and then also in the bulk section of Winco, you can get this geez, what was it? Onion soup mix. That's really tasty as well. So I always throw a heaping teaspoon of this stuff too. Now I make my beans from scratch. Basically, I just have beans and I soak them. Some people use canned, but if you're looking to eat really inexpensively, you can get bulk beans. I like white beans. And then you can rehydrate them overnight, cook them, and then freeze them. If you're lucky enough to have refrigeration. I know that we might not always have that. But as long as I've got refrigeration, I go ahead and use it. And this is what the beans look like when they're frozen. I generally throw about 2 of them in there. It's sort of an eyeballing thing. That pretty much does it. And I take beans and rice like this to work every single day. Well, every once in a while I don't, but almost all the time I do. And it's a tasty way of eating, and it's really, really cheap. And now I make good money at work, but the time may come when I don't have access to that wonderful job. So if I'm basically in a survival situation, I'll just live on this stuff pretty much. And it's a pretty cheap rice maker. Got it from got it online somewhere. Cost me about $15. Well, get your cheap Chinese appliances and goods and whatnot while you can, because we won't always have access to them. Now, as long as I'm here, this is my wheat grinder. I grind hard red wheat like so, then run it through this grinder, and that's how I get my bread. And this is what it looks like. I haven't bought bread for well over a year. Life is good. Just because I've been expecting this nasty economic situation since like November of last year, I've decided to really throttle back on my spending. And I may make good money. I make $30 an hour at work, and it's just awesome. But I've heard of other like municipalities laying people off or forcing them to work like a day for free or whatever. And the good times that we're experiencing right now might not last forever. So here we are. Now, this is just a juicer. Pardon the mess. As long as I'm here, I might as well show you around. I put a power strip up there for my power for all my appliances. This is a food saver. These things are highly cool. I plan on I basically store rice with this, and I mean I have big, huge 6-gallon buckets of stored rice, but if I want that special rice that I just cooked with, I'd like to enclose it in a food saver bag. Well, you'd think that an urban survivalist like me would really make his own bread, but wrong. I just throw it in the bread machine. Well, that's about all I got for you. Have a good one. Let's see if I can shut this off.